All right. Um, so today we're diving into the TOGAF Leader's Guide to Establishing and Evolving an EA Capability.
Okay.
If you're listening in, you probably already know about TOGAF,
Yeah.
that global framework, right, for enterprise architecture that
Mm-hmm.
helps organizations kind of align IT and business goals.
Mm-hmm.
But this guide, this isn't like, theoretical
Yeah.
TOGAF. This is like practical, like how do you actually do this?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a roadmap for leaders, for
Yeah.
those people who actually have to build this thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because they acknowledge kind of like the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
A lot of EA initiatives, they haven't really panned out the way people thought they would,
Yeah.
and it dives right into those struggles.
Yeah.
Like, all the rapid advancements in technology, shifting priorities, stakeholders,
Oh, yeah.
just demanding stakeholders
All the time.
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it offers, like an actual path forward based on what's worked, for other organizations.
It's like we've got this seasoned guide
Yeah,
to
yeah.
help us navigate this EA jungle.
Exactly.
Someone who's been there, done that, seen it all,
Yeah.
knows how to avoid the pitfalls.
Yes.
Where do we even start with this journey?
Well, chapter 1, it kind of sets the stage,
Okay.
reminds us that EA, it's not just about these fancy diagrams, right?
Yeah.
It's about making actual changes in an organization.
Mhm.
It's about giving those at the helm, the leaders, the tools to actually make it work.
Yeah.
Like how to drive the EA charge forward.
And I think chapter 2 brings up a super, super important point
Okay.
that, like, trips so many people up, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it defines enterprise, right?
Mhm.
It goes beyond just your company.
Yeah.
It's the whole ecosystem. It's like the partners, the suppliers.
Yeah.
I mean, even in some cases, competitors.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's like thinking big picture.
Yeah, it's understanding all those pieces,
Yeah.
how they fit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just your little corner of the world.
That's exactly.
And then chapter 3, we finally get to like the heart of it.
All right.
What does an EA capability actually look like
Yeah,
when you try and, and actually do it?
yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting,
Right.
right? Because they break it down into 4 purposes,
Mm-hmm.
4 common purposes for EA.
Right,
And depending on your role,
right.
the organization you're in,
Yeah,
some of these are going to, resonate more than others.
exactly. Yeah.
So, like, let's say you're focused on that long-term strategy,
Mhm.
3, 5, even 10 years out.
Right.
Your EA needs to make sure
Yeah.
that all those IT investments that you're making today
Right.
actually align with those long-term goals.
Yes, exactly.
But if you're like, in project management,
Yeah.
and you're juggling all kinds of different initiatives,
Right.
your focus is probably going to be like, do they fit together?
Yeah.
Are they working,
Yeah,
together,
I-
or are they kind of working at cross purposes?
Are you fighting each other?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So EA can bring like this much needed clarity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, we can't forget about the people who are actually doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Those people on the ground
Yeah.
implementing the IT solutions, right?
Yeah, they need like an architecture to guide them
Yeah.
through deployment,
Yeah.
making sure things work together.
Yeah.
Minimize risk.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So we're seeing like, EA is this flexible tool.
it is.
It's not one size fits all,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But before you even start with the tool, you need to know the context you're working in, right?
Yeah, that's where chapter 4 comes in.
Okay.
It's all about, understanding the enterprise context and the
Yeah.
EA context.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Imagine a paint manufacturer, right? Yeah.
Their intellectual property is their paint formula,
Yeah.
but they rely on all this external machinery
Right.
and ingredients to actually make it.
Yeah.
That's context.
Okay.
Or think about like a tech company that's operating in, say, China and Europe.
Right.
They might have totally different operating models, because
Yeah.
of regulations and market behavior.
Oh, yeah.
So context, context is king.
Yeah.
It matters.
It's huge.
It's huge.
So we've got our purpose.
Okay.
We understand our context.
Mhm.
Now we need to set some clear objectives.
Yeah.
This is where, I think a lot of EA initiatives, like,
They fall short.
they kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
It's about, getting more specific
Right.
than just reduce costs, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's about defining, what does success actually look like?
What does it look like? Yeah.
Chapter 5 really digs into this.
Yeah.
Imagine, like you can go to your leadership.
And you have these recommendations that are ready to be signed.
Yes.
It's not
It's
just
theory.
some theoretical framework,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
It's actionable. Yeah.
Or imagine being able to like adapt to like a supplier changing a product overnight.
Yes.
That's powerful.
That's huge. Yeah.
So, we're starting to see the value here.
Yeah.
But now we get to the part that makes everyone's eyes glaze over a little.
Okay.
Governance.
Governance. Yeah.
But I think, this guide has a different take on it.
Yeah, they reframe it, right? It's not just about the red tape and, the bureaucracy. It's
Yeah.
about a framework for making smart decisions and keeping everyone on the same page.
Yeah. They actually give an example of a decision tree
Yes.
that you can use to, like, decide if a project's architecture is on track.
Right. Is it aligned?
Yeah. It's about, getting rid of those endless debates
Yeah, that rework.
and having to redo things over and over again.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So EA can be a powerful tool
I can.
for highlighting those potential risks,
Early.
early on.
Yes.
Potentially saving your organization lots of time
That's a money.
and money.
Yeah.
So, we've talked about purpose, we've talked about context,
Yeah.
we've talked about objectives
Yep.
and governance.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, we got to remember that EA,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
Right.
So Chapter 7, it focuses on aligning EA
Okay.
with all the other things that are going on.
Okay.
All those other frameworks, methodologies that organizations have in place.
Yeah.
Things like project management, ITL, information security management.
So it's about, like integration.
Yeah, integration, yes.
Not isolation.
Exactly.
It's like you're trying to take EA
Yeah.
and weave it into the fabric of how the company works.
Yes, not create another silo.
Right. Exactly. And then this is where things get a little technical, but
Yeah.
let's stick with us here.
Hang in there.
Chapter 8 is all about customizing
Okay.
the architecture content and the meta model.
The meta model, yeah.
So, what does that even mean?
It sounds kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
But it's not as complicated as it sounds.
Okay.
So think about building a house.
Mm-hmm.
The meta model is kind of like the blueprint.
Okay.
It defines those core elements.
Yeah.
The walls, the doors, the electrical systems,
Cool.
how they all relate to each other.
So you're basically creating a blueprint
And you got-
for your EA.
Yeah,
Making sure you're capturing the right information
exactly.
to help you make those key decisions.
Yes, exactly.
And the guide emphasizes, you don't have to get lost in this sea of data.
You don't
Yeah.
need it all.
Focus on the information.
The essential.
That's truly essential.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it's starting to feel like a well-oiled machine now.
Okay.
We've established the purpose.
Yeah.
We understand the context.
Yeah.
We've got the governance. We've aligned it with the existing frameworks.
Right.
And then we define the information we need to manage.
Yes.
So what's next?
Now I got to build the team.
Build the team.
Yeah.
Assemble the pit crew.
Chapter 9, that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Getting the right people to make this thing work.
So, what kind of specialist do we need?
Yeah, what kind of skills?
Do we need business people, data people, applications, technology, security?
Right. You got to figure out that mix.
Yeah.
And then, there's capacity.
Yeah.
How many people?
How many people do we actually need
Yeah.
to make this thing work?
Chapter 9 gives some, guidance on that.
Big dogs.
Okay. So, all right, we've got the team assembled.
Yeah. The team's ready.
But how do we actually get EA into the daily life of the company?
Right. Integrate it.
Yeah.
So that's what Chapter 10 tackles.
Okay.
It's about building that process model.
That aligns with how your company already works.
Right.
You got to integrate it with, the existing processes for strategy, for projects, for budgeting.
So, instead of having EA be this,
Separate thing.
this abstract thing over here, you're weaving it in.
Weaving it in. Yeah.
And what I love about how they frame this,
Okay.
it's not just about, doing the work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's about showing everyone the value.
Demonstrating that value.
Yeah, that EA brings.
Yeah.
It's about, delivering work products
Yes.
before those key decisions are made.
You have the influence. Yeah.
So that you can actually have influence.
Yeah.
It's about using visuals and reports that people understand.
Yeah. Make it resonate with leadership.
Yeah.
Show them the value.
So it's about speaking their language
Exactly.
and demonstrating the
Yep.
impact.
Make it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork.
All right. The groundwork's laid.
We've built the team.
The team's ready.
We've integrated it into the processes.
Okay.
What's next?
Well, next time we're going to talk about the roadmap for this journey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're finally getting in the driver's
We're
seat.
going to hit the road.
I like it.
Yeah.
This is so much more than just like a theoretical overviews,
Yeah, right.
we're actually
This is the how-to guide.
how to do it
Yeah.
in the real world.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Welcome back. We're continuing our deep dive into the TOGAF Leader's Guide to Establishing and Evolving an EA Capability.
Okay.
Before the break, we were talking about how to, actually integrate EA
Yeah.
into how a company works.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's shift gears a bit to Chapter 11.
Okay.
This is where we map out the journey, right?
Okay.
Creating the roadmap for your EA capability.
I like it. It's like we finally get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
After we've done all this prep work,
Yeah.
we talked about the purpose, the context, the team,
Right.
the processes.
Right.
It's time to, hit the open road.
Hit the road. Yes.
So what should we be packing in our
Yeah.
EA roadmap toolkit?
Okay.
What are the essentials?
Well, Chapter 11, it highlights a few key elements.
Okay.
First, we need milestones.
Mm-hmm.
We need to answer those questions like, when will the EA deliverables actually be ready?
Love it.
When will we have that decision tree we talked about, for project architecture?
Yeah.
When will the team be fully staffed?
Yeah, with all those special roles and all.
With all the specialized roles we talked about. So
Yeah.
it's about, setting expectations, setting timelines.
So this sounds a lot like project management,
It does.
but on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not managing individual projects.
Right.
We're managing the capability to actually do EA.
Yes, exactly.
And just like with any big project, we need to think about resources.
Yeah. What kind of investment is needed to make this all happen?
We need to hire more people, new
Yeah.
tools, training, all that.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's where I think the
Yeah.
rubber really meets the road.
Right, it does.
We have to make the business case for EA.
Yeah, show the value.
We have to show leadership that this investment is worth it.
Yeah, it's not just about the diagrams.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to translate to real business value.
So I'm sensing a theme here.
Okay.
It all goes back to integrating EA with how the business works.
Yes.
And showing that it contributes to, the bottom line.
Exactly.
You got to tell the EA story
You do.
in a way that the people holding the purse strings understand.
Yes. Speak their language.
Yeah.
Use metrics. Use visual.
Yeah.
Show the impact.
Show the cost savings.
Yes, the cost.
The efficiency gains.
Efficiency, yeah.
Yeah.
How it improved time to market.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it real.
Make it real. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the roadmap planned out. Our toolkit is packed,
We're ready.
and we're ready to hit the road.
Let's go.
What lies ahead?
Well, Chapter 12, this is the final chapter of the guide,
Okay, good.
and it focuses on establishing and evolving the EA capability.
Okay.
It's where we take all this planning and put it into action,
Yeah.
but with the understanding that even the best plans,
Yeah.
they need to change sometimes.
Right. You got to be flexible.
You got to be flexible. Yeah.
So it's not about sticking to the plan no matter what.
No.
It's about being, able to adapt to the detours.
Yeah.
The roadblocks.
The roadblocks.
Yeah. Because things change.
They do. The business landscape changes.
Yeah.
Technology changes.
Yeah.
So EA has to be able to keep up.
Right. It has to evolve too.
It does. And Chapter 12,
Yeah.
it really stresses 3 roles that the EA team has to play: trusted advisor,
Okay.
instigator of change,
Right.
and mentor.
Okay. So let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
Trusted advisor. That sounds like, you're the go-to person for leadership.
When they got to make decisions.
Yeah, when they're going to make those big decisions about IT,
Yes.
it's about building that reputation.
Yeah. That you give good advice.
Yeah, sound advice.
Yeah.
Objective advice.
Yeah. Rooted in understanding the business.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You understand the technology.
You understand the business, the technology, the landscape.
And then there's instigator of change.
Yeah.
So this is more than just giving advice.
It's more proactive.
Yeah, you're actually driving
Behaving.
innovation and transformation.
Yes, exactly.
So, the EA team should be looking for opportunities
All the time.
to use technology
To improve things.
to improve the business.
Yeah.
to create new products and services.
So we're offering.
Yeah, to really get ahead of the competition.
Get that competitive advantage.
Yeah, be proactive.
Proactive, yeah.
Not just reactive.
Exactly.
And then there's the mentor role.
Yeah, so this is about spreading the EA gospel.
Yeah, you're sharing the knowledge.
Sharing the knowledge, yeah.
You're building that awareness.
Yeah, building the understanding across the whole company. Across the whole organization, yes.
So it's not enough to just have a team of experts,
Right.
Hiding in a corner somewhere.
No, got to get everyone on board.
Yeah, it's making EA part of how the company thinks.
Part of the DNA.
Yeah, how everyone, does their work and makes decisions.
Yeah, it's a cultural shift.
So as the organization changes,
Yeah.
the EA capability needs to change with it.
It has to keep up, yeah.
You have to always be evaluating, are we doing things right?
Are the processes still right?
Do we have the right tools?
Do we have the right skills?
Yeah.
Is it still aligned with
Yeah.
what the business needs?
Are we keeping up with, the latest and greatest in technology?
Exactly.
This has been so insightful.
Yeah.
We've gone from the very basics of EA.
Yeah.
Like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
All the way to how do you actually do
And
this
practical steps.
in the real world?
Yeah, how to build it.
And build something that's valuable.
Yeah, that lasts.
Yeah, sustainable.
Sustainable, yeah.
And as we wrap up this part,
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember
What's that?
that building an EA capability, this isn't a one-time project.
No, it's not a project.
This is a journey.
It's a journey.
It's an ongoing thing.
Ongoing, yeah.
And it requires commitment,
Commitment, yeah.
collaboration,
Yeah.
and a willingness to just learn as you go.
Be open to learning, yeah.
Because things change.
Things change, yeah.
And there's no one right answer.
There's no silver bullet.
But before we continue on this adventure, let's take a little break. When we come back, we'll dive into managing information within your EA capability.
Sounds good.
And we're back for the last part of our deep dive into the TOGAF Leader's Guide.
Okay.
We've mapped out this journey, built our team.
Yep.
Now it's time to tackle something that can feel like a black hole sometimes.
Okay.
Managing information within your EA capability.
Right. Yeah. You can get lost in all that data.
Yeah.
But Chapter 8, it really emphasizes being strategic about the information you manage. You don't need all of it. You just need the right stuff.
Right. So it's less about hoarding every piece of data and more about being a curator.
Yes.
Choosing the information that matters.
Exactly. Yeah.
So where do we even begin?
Well, the guide talks about this this viewpoint library. Think of it like, those make or break questions that your EA needs to answer. Questions like, how can we be different with IT?
Okay.
What are the risks with this new business thing?
Yeah.
How do our applications actually work together?
Okay, so we start with those big questions.
You got it.
And then we figure out what information we need to actually answer them.
Exactly.
And once we've got that information, we need a place to put it.
You need a good architecture repository.
Okay.
This is your library for all things EA, right?
Sure.
It's got to be organized, easy to use.
No more spreadsheets.
No more spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is where technology can help us out.
Right. Those EA tools can make things so much easier.
Yeah.
They can manage the information, make it easy to analyze, to visualize, to share.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've talked about managing the information, but what about managing the EA capability itself?
Right.
How do we make sure it's staying relevant?
Right. Yeah, that it's actually valuable, that it's, keeping up with everything.
Yeah.
Well, remember those 3 roles we talked about?
Yeah.
Trusted advisor, instigator of change, mentor.
Yeah.
Those are crucial here.
Okay.
You got to constantly be showing people the value of EA, how it helps with decisions, how it drives innovation, how it, helps avoid risk.
So you're saying it's about being proactive.
Proactive, yes.
Not waiting for people to come to you with problems.
Exactly. You got to anticipate what they need.
Yeah.
Find the opportunities, offer solutions.
Okay.
And you got to build relationships, share what you know.
Yeah.
Help people understand EA.
Like a mentor, yeah.
Be a mentor, exactly.
It sounds like it's not enough to just have a team of experts.
Yeah.
It's about making EA part of how everyone thinks.
Part of the company's DNA, yeah.
So as the organization changes, EA has to change too, right?
It does. You got to constantly be checking, Are we doing things the right way? Do we need different tools?
are we keeping up with the new technology?
Yeah. Are the skills still relevant?
This has been like a really, really insightful deep dive.
Yeah, it's been fun.
We've gone from like, what is EA?
Yeah, like EA 101.
Yeah, to how to actually make it work
How to make it real. Yeah.
and build something that's valuable.
Yeah, that lasts.
And as we wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
I I want to emphasize one thing.
Okay.
Building an EA capability.
Hmm.
This isn't a one and done project.
No, it's definitely not a project.
It's a journey.
It's a journey, yeah.
It takes commitment.
You got to be committed.
We got to be willing to collaborate
And you got to be willing to learn.
and learn as you go
Absolutely.
because things are going to change.
They are. That's the one constant, right?
Yeah, and there's no like perfect answer.
There's no magic bullet? No.
So as you start your own EA journey,
Yeah.
remember what we talked
Use
about?
these key takeaways in mind.
Be clear about your purpose.
Yes, purpose is key.
Understand the context.
Know your landscape.
Build a good team.
Get the right people.
Manage information strategically.
Don't drown in data.
And never stop evolving.
Never stop learning.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it helpful
Yeah, hope you learned something.
and are ready to go out there and apply these ideas.
Go make EA a reality in your organization.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep seeking knowledge and keep diving deep.
Keep diving!